Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about what will happen when your ex misses you, okay? So when your ex misses you, the thing that they will do is they will reach out to you in some way. So that means they'll phone you up or they will message you. And they might not directly say to you, I miss you, or I want to get back together. It's going to be more of like they're just inquiring about you, right? Or they may bring up something as an excuse to talk to you. So, for example, they may say something like, do you remember when we did this? Can you give me the postcode for this? Or something like that. Or it could be, they might be just saying something as simple as, hey, how are you? Hey, what have you been up to? But you got to get the vibe of the message right. Because sometimes your ex may reach out to you because they need to talk to you about the kids or something like that. Or they are trying to get their stuff back or something like that. If it's a message or a call like that, you don't want to take it too seriously. But if they're inquiring about you and it seems like they want to talk to you, and it's a message that is coming off very positively. So they're in a positive, you can tell like it's a positive message, right? And so basically, the way that this sort of thing happened to me was I had been seeing this girl for about 3 months, and we broke up because I didn't really like things that she was saying to me. She was saying a lot of things to me when we were out on dates and stuff that was a bit incongruent, and I caught on that perhaps that she was a compulsive liar, because I remember once she was telling me a story. And the next week she told me the same story, exactly the same, but the people in the story were different people. And it's like, well, you just said that. You told me the same story last week, but now you're telling me the same story, literally the same story, and it's with different people, right? So that's the reason why we broke up, because a lot of stuff like that kept on happening. And she then, I don't know if she blocked me or whatever, but she definitely unfriended me on Facebook for like a couple of weeks, right? So she went away after I broke up with her. And then she came back. She re-added me as a friend, which I accepted because I didn't really care back then, right? And she messaged me and she just said something like, hey, how are you? How you been? How you been? And I was like, yeah, I'm really good, thanks. How are you? And it got to a point where I was actually considering meeting up with her again, but I never went through with it because of, the past situation. I was seriously considering it. We'd actually made plans, really, to meet up. I was going to go over to her place and we was going to order pizza. And that basically just never happened, because I was like, yeah, I can't go back for this girl because she's just got too many things going on that aren't sitting right with me. So that's what happened, right? And that's basically, if your ex wants you back, that's what's going to happen. Something like that. So they're going to reach out to you. It's going to be very easy to hang out with them, to meet up with them, So that's what you got to be looking out for, essentially. Okay, a scenario quite similar to what happened with me, okay? But the point is that you've got to wait for them to message you. So if you are not friends with your ex on social media, or they're not following you, if they start adding you or start following you on stuff, don't see that as an opportunity for you to start messaging them. They still have to be the one to reach out to you. They still have to be the one that messages you first, okay, or calls you up first. So try and ignore basically everything that they do on social media. So ignore them liking your stuff. Ignore it when they watch your stories, because that doesn't mean anything either, because they could be watching everybody's stories. It might be just something that they do when they're, taking a dump. Who knows, right? So ignore everything that they do on social media, unless it's a direct message to you, not a comment on one of your posts, or a response to a comment that you've made on one of their posts, which you shouldn't be doing. Do not interact with them at all on social media. Just because they're liking your stuff doesn't mean that you should like their stuff as well, okay? Just because they're watching your stories doesn't give you a free card to watch their stories too. Stay completely in no contact. Because if your name is on their phone each time they open up their phone, and they can see loads of notifications from you. It doesn't even have to be loads, it could just be one a day, but one a day is still too many, because in that moment they're reminded of you and they can't miss you, right? If they've got constant reminders of you, they can't miss you. If you want someone to miss you, you must go ghost. You must be completely gone, right? It doesn't mean that you ghost their messages, but it just means that you kind of like, you disappear, right? So you're not posting on social media, or you're not, at least they can't see your posts, and you're not liking or engaging with anything that they post, okay? So it has to be a direct message or a phone call from them, okay? But the point is that you don't want to be waiting around for this kind of thing to happen, because who knows, right? Who knows if they're going to come back? You don't, right? I don't, you don't. They might not know at the moment, right? They might not know, because maybe you only broke up like a few weeks ago and you've only just gone into no contact, so it might take a couple of weeks or months to see if they come back or not. But that's why you shouldn't wait around, because you don't know. It's sort of up in the air. You can't control them. You can't control what they're going to do. You can only control yourself. You can't control outside circumstances. If you try to control outside circumstances, like your ex or like perhaps a crush that doesn't feel the same way about you, you will drive yourself crazy. Okay, maybe not literally, but it's not good for your sanity, basically, if you are trying to control things that are not within your control. Because ultimately, it's going to be up to them if they come back, right? So you can only do what you can do within your own realm of control. So focus on your goals. That will make you feel better about yourself, because sometimes, especially if you're the one that got dumped, it probably really knocked your self-esteem, and you probably don't think very highly of yourself. It probably knocked your confidence. So if you take action on your goals, that will make you feel better about yourself, because taking action makes you feel more confident and more proud of yourself. It gives you better self-esteem, especially if you're trying your best as well. That really helps. So focus on your goals. So you got to look at, okay, where do I want to be in 5 years' time? Right? What do I want? Who do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to have? Right? Where do I want to live? You know, what kind of house do I want? What kind of car do I want? What kind of body do I want? Where would I like to be in my career? You know, do I want to start a side business? You know, how do I want that to grow? Or do I want to learn a new skill? Do I want to become a musician or something? Because everyone's different, right? My goals are going to be different from your goals. So just figure out what you truly want in this life, essentially. Right? What do you truly want? And then find a way to take action on that every day, or at least, let's say, every Monday to Friday, so you can get yourself to a point where you are at least happy with your trajectory. Because the way that you know that you need change in your life is if you're not happy with your life currently, right? So if you want to feel more happier with your life, you know, because you might not feel happy for a while, right? But at least if you're taking action on things and you are moving yourself towards where you want to be, you can then say at least that you're happy with your current path, with your current trajectory, okay? So that's what you want to aim for, okay? So another thing that may help is remove anything, obviously, that reminds you of them. So that means don't listen to the playlist on Spotify that you may have made together, or perhaps you've got like a breakup playlist that you cry to or something like that. Don't indulge yourself in those sorts of things, okay? Don't look through their old photos. Don't go on their social media and look at their photos. Don't do anything like that, because that keeps you stuck, okay? And you don't want to be doing anything that is keeping you stuck and preventing you from moving on. And another thing, you know, give yourself time. It's going to take you a while to get over it, right? Because, you know, when you really, really love someone and they don't want to be with you, it stings, it hurts, and you need time to get over it. You do need time to get over it. Okay, and you're going to have some days that are better than others as well, okay? So it's okay for you to have a bad day. It's just as long as the moment you realize, or the next day you start a fresh slate and you get to work on your goals again, taking action on the things that you truly want in this life, trying to help you get there, right? Exercising is another thing. It's something that's so good, that really does help with, at least it really helps me with my mental state. Like if I don't feel right, then I do some sort of physical activity, and that makes me feel a lot better about myself. So, but you got to remember that you got to give yourself time. It's not going to just go away overnight. You're not going to forget about someone overnight. So give yourself a while. I always say the minimum time that you should give yourself before you start dating someone new is 6 months. Okay, but if you were together for even longer, let's say that you were together for years, then perhaps you may need something like a year or maybe a year and a half. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.